Welcome to the first solution to one of my puzzles. Before we get into it, I first want to congratulate the two persons that managed to send me a solution that works. And those are Peaches and Joey. So congrats to those two. And a big thanks to Kayla, who helped me massively finding a good configuration of stats, IVs to really make this as interesting as possible. Before you watch this, if you haven't done the puzzle, it's on the official Discord server. Try it out yourself. All the people who took part said it was really fun. The opponent we have here is Elder Lee we have to beat. And sadly, I have a bug and the Shelder in my box is not showing, but I can shortly show Shelder IVs. So this is, I would claim, a mid Shelder. But yeah, shell armor obviously is really great. This was a very late decision to make this shell armor over skill link. And I think if we would have left it at skill link, people would have struggled even more. That way we had like multiple solutions, but I think all the solutions were pretty cool, pretty interesting. And we won't have time to show every single one, but I will focus on the solution I originally designed, and while we go, I will explain some of the alternative ideas people had. So yeah, there's a Shell Armor Shelder. This Pokemon is like super defensive, even with minus defense, but it lacks any good attacks. We have our Battle Armor Totodile, pretty bad IVs and nature, overall not super useful. There's a level cap of 16 for this fight, so you can't evolve. It's not that strong. It gets Rock Tomb before hitting 16. This is the original save. I can also quickly load the save I had prepped. Then we have some mons on level 16. We have Taillow, and I think everybody quickly realizes that Taillow is like the solution to this puzzle. It has guts and plus attack, and therefore it basically demolishes so many Pokemons in this fight. But it's really hard to get it in. It doesn't have a lot of HP, and it will lose a lot of HP to Toxic or Burn if you go Guts. So really, this puzzle is all about managing your Taillow HP. We have Spinarak, an interesting tech Pokemon, having Toxic and some weaker attacking moves, but overall really bad stats. We have Slugma, which Fire Spin is not 100% accuracy. This was a puzzle without any risks allowed. So basically, you don't have a fire type attack against Magnemite, which can crit Oko you anyways. So this was another one of the big questions this puzzle was asking, how to deal with Magnemite. There's an Oddish, pretty strong IVs. There's a GMO Magikarp with insane defense, but it's a Magikarp. I really hoped somebody would cook something with this, but nobody managed. There's a Geodude with mid stats, I would call it. And there's a Flaffy with really good stats for this fight. And I think Flaffy is like the other one you immediately spot. When I first started out, I don't know this, but if we look at my Pokemon now, we will see that Flaffy can learn Rock Smash, which is a key part of this fight. Obviously, Rock Smash, Volt Absorb is a super powerful combo into Magnemite. For the remaining prep, I have pre-slept 4 of my mons. I think my solution doesn't even need it. And I have pre-burned my Geodude with 34 HP, and I have no status but a Toxic Orb on my Taillow. So, Elderly is actually an insanely interesting trainer. There's like so much stuff going on. Dig AI, look at this amount of text. Like this stuff, Dig is probably one of the most difficult moves in the game to understand the AI of. There's so much going on. We have Life Orb. We have multiple sleep moves without the player being allowed to use any health items that are used up and not unlimited, so no sleep berries. And immediately there's this Houndour. And this Houndour, I made it really difficult. Like in my runs, I like to use Love Disc here. But the player doesn't get a Love Disc for this puzzle. You have a really hard time outspeeding this. And the problem is that for Tailo to do what it has to do, like being like the main counter for Weepinbell and Mankey, because you basically miss all the other answers for those mons, makes it switch-wise really difficult for the baiting. If you just demolish this Houndour with something like Aquajet Totodile, like this does 52, but I also have to switch it in on a move that doesn't do too much damage, and then I need to Aquajet because most mons cannot beat this 1v1 because they bait like either high damage or Bite can flinch them. I think Houndour was like one of those mons where people had a lot of ideas. Basically, you can have two passes here. One pass is to kill Houndour with Geodude or Totodile and bait Weepinbell next. That has a disadvantage that your Tailo cannot chain Weepinbell into Mankey because Tailo baits Magnemite. It has the advantage that it's somewhat easy to achieve. If you have some knowledge about Dig AI with Shellder, you can actually guarantee a bite. So this opening could look something like Accelerock, switch into Shellder, protect twice. If you protect once, there's like Dig AI shenanigans. Try to figure this out yourself if you don't know what I'm talking about. Then you can go back into Geodude on a guaranteed bite after double protect, and then Accelerock kills. Then you bait Weepinbell, and in that line later on I will explain how you get to kill the Mankey. So that needed Shellder. Now there are the lines that kill Houndour while Tailo is in. This has the advantage that you immediately bait Magnemite, and later on after killing Magnemite you have the option to chain Weepinbell into Mankey with your Tailo. And actually two ways were found to do this line. One of them I will show now. The other one is a very, very cool line where you toxic this Houndour on the Dig up. So basically you bait Dig, switch into Spinarak, Houndour comes up, you are slower and you toxic Houndour. And then you come in with Tailo on the turn, Houndour dies. You have to do this because otherwise your HP are not enough and you will lose. Before, like in the worst case scenario, you will die with Tailo before taking the final kill, and you were not allowed to have any deaths. So, my solution, and this lead, I think Indigo maybe had an idea about this, but nobody found this. Pre-burn level 15. Edged Geodude on 34 HP. Okay, you might ask, what the fuck is pre-burned level 15? And this has a very, very important reason. We never kill with Accelerock. If we would do that, this can be dramatic because then we bait Weepinbell and it just said that we want to take the kill with our Tailo. But pre-burned on level 15, we never kill. So we Accelerock here. And this Houndour now can go either Dig or it can go Leer. And the reason why we are pre-damaged is that after -1 defense, Houndour would now always see a kill with Dig. Now this way we can guarantee that Talo always switches in on the turn that Houndour comes back up. And with the Accelerock chip damage, we can actually Aerial Ace kill this Houndour. Magnemite comes in, and now we have to do something really tricky. And I think people had this was not obvious. The problem is that we take 27 damage from crit Razor Leaf when we switch in on Weepinbell. So we take a lot of damage, and we can't have that much poison damage. So I came up with a very, very funny line. We switch into Oddish. This is guaranteed Electroweb. And now we can Aromatherapy. And if we would be holding the Flame Orb here, we can actually dodge all Thunder Waves, and we don't need to actually be pre-slapped. And all the other pre-slaps are healed now anyways. We get Sonic Boomed. And even if the Electroweb quits, we are out of range of another Electroweb. So now this is always Sonic Boom or Mirror Shot. We can switch into Totodile. Mirror Shot, it doesn't matter what we get hit with. We always bait Electroweb. And we switch into Flaffy. Flaffy here has a guaranteed 2-hit KO. That's really nice. Flaffy was just really broken into this Magnemite. Without it, so much harder this fight would be. So Flaffy baits Weepinbell, but you can't really get pre-damage done to get this, to perfectly get this, I think. Or maybe you could have, because you guarantee what Sonic Boom. But you don't even need to, because here we bait either Razor Leaf, Growth, or Sleep Powder. We can go to Spinnerack. From Spinnerack we go into Geodude. And this is why we are edged. If this goes Growth and now would have went Acid, we would never be in another Acid range. This way, even if this is +2, this is not even close. We are baiting Razor Leaf, but even +1 crit Acid doesn't get us into range of another Acid, but that only works on level 16. We bait Razor Leaf. We switch into Talo. Yeah. And now, thanks to Aromatherapy, we don't take damage on the switch in. And that's actually huge, because since we will attack 2 more times, we actually save 6 HP by doing this. There were also some really interesting cooks where you try to get a level up with Talo here to survive stuff. I think that was used in the Toxic, in the Spinnerack Toxic line, even though I'm not sure if it's really needed. I think if you just equip Toxic Orb over XP share and don't pre-status, you can also do it. Yeah. I said I would talk about how to beat Mankey if you decided to not set up this chain kill. And the solution is Hoothoot. Hoothoot has Nightshade, and if you can bait Nightshade and chip Hoothoot, you can sometimes kill it with Aerial Ace, and if Magnemite is already dead, you can then chain Mankey afterwards. So that's the line the other people found. So they basically went kill Houndour, bait Weepinbell, switch in with Talo, kill Weepinbell, Magnemite comes in, Flaffy just 1v1s, then you set up a bit of chip damage plus Nightshade bait on Hoothoot, and then Talo chains the remaining mons. Now here in this line, there are like some different ways you can beat this, but we have so many resources, like even if you get crit a lot, you just have to believe me that this works. I will not actually showcase the worst case. So for example, if this is feint attack, we now have the issue that this could go for Yawn, but we can chip it with Aqua Jet. And now in this position, we would be guaranteed. Like in this position, like we can set up a kill bait with Fluffy. Oh, yeah, we don't even need to set up the kill bait. We can just go Fluffy here. This, for example, Yawn. Now we bait highest damage Nightshade. We go back into Tailo. It doesn't affect us. And Aerial Ace takes the kill. There are like other options where, for example, if Hoot Hoot goes for Uproar, you can use Rock Tomb to lower its speed. That can also win against Hoot Hoot. Yeah, Hoot Hoot was basically pretty free because so many mons can deal with it. So yeah. This was my solution for the first puzzle. I hope it was understandable how the options other players chose looked, and I hope for those that haven't solved the puzzle and were just interested in how this can be done, or for the people who found a solution but wanted to know what other solutions there are. I hope you enjoyed this, and I think I will see you around for another puzzle. Thanks for watching.